I'm not for one of the mechanisms, and we've seen some state legislation in this regard, is the E-Verify system for employers to use. Gosh, that takes us down that real ID trail that many of us who are concerned about individual liberty and freedom don't want to go down. Can we find a better way? And yet I certainly recognize that we want our employers, and I'm an employer, I want to be employing people who are in this country legally, who have a right to be here, who have gone through the process. It's very complex, and we're working hard on that. I expect that we will have some substantive policy ideas, but not premature ones that we've actually done the work on. I don't know whether E-Verify is the answer or not. I do recognize a number of states have put that in place, and we've had some championing that in the Texas legislature.
Talking to Debra Medina, Republican candidate for governor on KTSA. I take your point about immigration. It is. I think what's happened in Washington is they've conflated legal and illegal and held them both up as a virtue. Illegal immigration is not a virtue. It's breaking our laws. And even legal immigration, to me, you need some market principles there. You need to think about how do we add to our workforce where we need to add to it, instead of making decisions that are politically popular or rewarding, this group or that group. How would you feel about some kind of market-based approach like guest workers, such as they use in many other countries, where they identify where they need a labor force, for how long they need it, and your guest worker status is directly tied to that job that got you into the country in the first place?
Well, I think, one of the things that we have to recognize is that we have put out a lot of incentives, bait, if you will, free health care, free education, and I don't know that any of us want to support that. We believe in individual liberty and individual responsibility. I think maybe what we're looking at here is really invasion versus immigration. We're all for immigration. We recognize that therein lies our strength, the fact that we have people are the wealth of a nation and the wealth of a state, but we don't need to be invaded. We want people who come here because they ascribe to the ideas that we have: hard work, individual responsibility, limited government, constitutional republic, and I'm looking hard to figure out how to promote that while removing the incentives to break our law and come in more of an invading kind of mentality.
As we look at the health care debate in Washington, it's pretty clear that there's going to be a huge unfunded mandate to the states if the president gets his way and his party gets their way. Where do you come down on the health care debate?
I think that health care is not the role of government. I'm a registered nurse by profession. If government has anything to do with health care, it might be in the area of regulating and licensing providers, but certainly not in health care delivery. I think there's a great opportunity there for the state of Texas to stand on its sovereignty and say you have no constitutional authority to do this. We need to use our legislature and our Attorney General's office to push back the federal government into the bounds, the limits placed on them by our Constitution. And then the state of Texas needs to realize it ought not be a health care provider either. We've doubled spending on health care delivery in Texas in the last 8 years. The proper place for health care delivery is in the community and by individuals and families and community private providers. That's where we ought to be delivering health care. We need to get the government off of the providers' back so that they can deliver that health care. And we've seen federal and state regulations that have caused that to become not market efficient and effective. And I think there are a number of things that we can do at the state level to reverse that trend and to move health care delivery back to the community where it ought to be.
Talking to Republican candidate Debra Medina on KTSA for another minute or so here. Well, on the idea of market-based reform, there are a lot of, it seems to me, sensible ideas for reforming competitiveness among insurance companies, access to insurance, maybe making people more owners of their policies rather than tying it to the job you have at this particular moment. I mean, are there things that a small government conservative could get behind in the way of insurance reform?
Absolutely. I got to agree with all of the above and also recognize that Texas at our own state level, has implemented a number of health care mandates. It's nearly tripled the cost of health insurance, which is not health care, but tripled the cost of health insurance in Texas because we've got 75-plus mandates that we require health insurance companies to deliver. And we look at other states like Alabama that are mandate light and find that they can buy group health.
Did we lose her? Are you still there? Oh, I think we just lost her.
Oh, I'm here.
There she is. Okay.
About a third of what we are able to purchase it for in Texas. So there are things at the state level that we can do. You mentioned a number of them, allowing more competitiveness, maybe out-of-state insurance companies to purchase or sell products here. Reducing the number of mandates on those insurance companies so that the products that they are selling to the marketplace, making available, are market-driven and not government-mandated ones. Yes, there are a number of things we can do to reinstitute market-driven health care in this state. That'll make the greatest service available to the broadest range of people at the lowest cost.
All right. Her website is medinafortexas.com, and Debra Medina running as a Republican for the nomination for governor next year. Appreciate the time. I hope we can visit with you again.
Thank you, Jack. Great to talk to you.